So Simon, today we're going to be giving our viewers a bit of a reality check about what's going on in the market, and I thought we'd start off by talking about how people spend too much time searching and not enough time researching.
Yeah, look, it's something that we see all the time, Jay. We have clients coming to us, they've been looking for some time, and often they'll start out by making the decision, yes, I want to invest in property, I want to go out and find something, and one of the first things they'll do is just go and jump on realestate.com or domain.com. They'll build a favourites list or a hot list or whatever you want to call it, and they've really got, there's no criteria, there's no discipline, there's no process about it, and they're really just searching. And of course, our DNA is we're a research company, so we have a very specific process, a very specific methodology about how we go about looking to find value in the marketplace, how we go about looking to find opportunity. There's a very, very big difference between searching and research is such a core part of what we do. Now, it doesn't mean that if you're an individual you can't go out and build your own criteria and do your own research and do that, but I know how we've built what we do over the years, and just through a lot of deep thinking, through a lot of going back and looking at the marketplace at what's performed and what hasn't, we've built a real model around our research of what works and what's going to grow and what isn't. And there's a very, very big difference between searching and research is such a core part of what we do.
And I think one of the realities too is that you get a lot of people that, like you said, with the advent of technology, the game's definitely changed. You know, I know when my parents were purchasing their property in the mid-80s, at the end of the day, there was no realestate.com, there was no domain, the internet wasn't even around yet. Right. So to have that type of, I remember when we got a fax machine, it was amazing. But to have that at your fingertips, I think Australians, we are such a DIY society that we have this mentality that I can do it myself.
Of course. And look, all of that information we find, it's actually very seductive. It will lead you into thinking, yes, I can do this myself. And of course you can, but it's very, very time consuming. I don't know what kind of model people build about the kind of factors that they're looking for when they're looking for a property. So it will seduce you into thinking that you can do that yourself. There is all of that information available at your fingertips, but it's incredibly overwhelming. And what do you end up doing with it, and how do you actually make sense of it so it delivers you the best possible result?
Yeah, and definitely just with the times changing themselves. I mean, I know that when my parents, again, just going back to the good old days, there was no NAPLAN scores or catchment areas for schools like they are now. You know, where we live near Strathfield, Santa Sabina Girls' School, private school, that's one of the main reasons why that suburb in particular has gone through the roof in regards to just price point. And those are the type of things that I think people don't look at when they are going to look at property itself. And people become much more obsessed with the look rather than the end result of what that particular property is going to do for them.
That's right. And look, the NAPLAN scores are I think a very, very good example of a factor that we include in our research model. And we've seen the impact that that's had. I grew up in a middle ring suburb of Melbourne called Mount Waverley, and the NAPLAN scores have had a massive impact on property prices in Mount Waverley, and a couple of suburbs away called Glen Waverley, where there's just been an influx of buyers wanting to move into those areas because the high schools in those areas have recorded very, very good results on the NAPLAN. So lots of buyers wanting to come in, effectively trying to get a private school education for at government cost. So factors like that are just one of over 100, 150 factors that we look at when we're going through our model to determine where to find value in the marketplace.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Simon.
Thanks, Jay.